Hey guys, this is Eric. I wanted to bring you a very quick video about how to tackle a situation that I think every ostomate has had challenges with, especially just coming out of surgery. And that is how exactly to take a shower with an appliance. So I think it's important to understand that for the most part, you shouldn't really have any concerns about having a shower or getting your appliance wet. These products are meant to be waterproof, so your bag won't have any problems, being exposed to water. You should be able to have a shower or go swimming or even go in a hot tub, and there shouldn't really be any concerns. Now, some people do have issues though when they get their wafers wet, and sometimes what happens with the wafers is that they start to peel on the edges, and if that happens, it can be a bit of a nuisance. So a couple of ways you can avoid those problems is either to use wafer extenders that actually cover the outline of the wafer, and that'll create basically a second barrier for your skin. But also another trick is to just simply dry your pouch off and your wafer off after you get out of a shower. So what I tend to do is I'll just grab a hair dryer and dry off the whole area, pouch included, especially if I have a cloth pouch. And that kind of handles that on its own. And I usually don't have really any issues with wafers. Now, there are a few instances where you may want to avoid getting any of that area wet, and that usually applies after surgery when you have fresh wounds. So in those cases, there's a lot of do-it-yourself suggestions. One of them specifically is to take saran wrap, so that plastic wrap that you cover leftover food with, and you take that saran wrap and you essentially put that over your appliance, making sure that it covers any of the areas that you don't want to get wet, and then basically putting medical tape along the edges of that. So you're basically putting on a shield to block water from hitting your appliance at all. Now that works most of the time. Really depends on how well you apply it. So if you are just starting off, you're probably going to have a bit of a learning curve. You may get a little bit of water coming through that saran wrap solution, but eventually you'll get it, and that works pretty well. And once you're comfortable enough to not have to use that anymore, just go in the shower without worrying about it. Now, there is a product out there that you can purchase, and it's manufactured by a few different brands, but basically they're ostomy aprons. And you basically wear them like an apron over your appliance, but it also creates a shield to protect from water and stuff like that. Now, the nice thing about those particular products as opposed to the saran wrap solution is that you can reuse those, although they don't usually protect your entire appliance. So they'll just protect water coming from the top. But what I find is that when I'm having a hot shower, all that steam and everything else will just basically come right back up, and if the entire appliance isn't covered, it's going to get moist and damp and all that stuff. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having it. So if you're using an apron, just keep in mind, or be mindful anyway, of the fact that that won't protect 100% from moisture. Although I have seen at least one brand out there that has a special pocket that you would put your pouch into, and then the rest of the apron will cover the rest of it. So that technically should protect quite a bit more. Now, if you've had rectal surgery and you're worried about having those wounds come in contact with water, from what I understand, there's really no issue with that. When I had my surgery to remove my anus, I had a wound vac on, and I hopped in the shower with the wound vac on, but I usually went in the shower just before the nurses came. So I would still have the wound vac attached, but I would disconnect the line from it. So I would just basically have like a plastic line or a plastic tube running, from my ass out, and the rest of it was all attached, and there wasn't any issues there. Now, as it healed up a bit more and I didn't have to have the wound vac on, there still wasn't really any concern about getting that area wet. Obviously, you don't want to, take a shower head and spray right up in there, especially if, you've got a powerful shower head. So just be cautious of that. You can probably just get it wet if you need to clean it off, because I know sometimes it can be a little gross if you've got exudate and stuff like that still coming out. So, talk to your nurse about that if that's something that you're thinking of doing. But as far as I know, there weren't really any concerns about getting it wet. Now, one really, really great accessory to have in the shower is one of those removable shower heads. I know when you have a fixed shower head, it can be a little bit difficult to manage because you don't really have any control over where that water's hitting. What I found was when I have the removable shower head, even after surgery, I was able to very carefully take a shower and wash parts of my body without necessarily getting my appliance wet or the wounds wet from that shower. So it can take a bit of maneuvering, to get that done. So for example, when I was showering and washing my hair, I would just have my head down and kind of made sure that any of the water that hit me would just drop straight down and not run right down my body. So, that was kind of a bit of a challenge, but once you get used to doing that a few times, it's pretty easy and you don't have to do that forever. I do also want to mention that it's okay to shower without your appliance on. If you feel comfortable doing that, most Ostomates absolutely love it. I totally love taking naked showers. And, the only thing you need to be concerned about, I think if you have a very high output ostomy, is to try to time it so that your ostomy is fairly quiet. And, that might really be the only challenge. Although, hey, if anything comes out in the shower, you just clean it up and, you can clean the shower afterwards. But it's certainly not going to hurt your stoma. Soap, water, anything like that comes in contact with your stoma is not going to hurt it. Although I would suggest that if you are going to take a completely naked shower, don't use any soaps that have like moisturizers in them or, extra chemicals like... And I mean, this is really hard to avoid, but a lot of the scented shampoos and conditioners especially, have a lot of ingredients in there that might make it more difficult for your appliance to stay on when you finally get out of the shower and put a new appliance on. So just be aware of that, but by all means, if you have a fairly inactive stoma, I know a lot of colostomates will probably not have an issue with this, but just go ahead and have a naked shower and you'll probably really, really enjoy that. So I hope some of those tips at least made you a little more comfortable at about having a shower with an ostomy. Don't be afraid to get your appliance wet. I know that sometimes filters might be an issue on certain products. So if you have a filter that comes with those little white stickers, sometimes they're blue stickers depending on the brand, make sure you put those on your filter first and then hop in the shower, because if you don't, the water will basically clog the filter from the outside. So you want to make sure that you prevent that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've got plenty more coming, and leave a comment if you have any other suggestions or tips about showering with your ostomy. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Have a great day.